situation over the 12 years that I've been here entertaining you on television. Welcome to Hot Topics, Sharina Hudson. Getting out of my car with my money. Good morning, Journey. She'll be almost, I think she'll be 3 next month, don't you know? Good morning, Kelvin.
Nobody expected this. Sharina Hudson, the woman who broke up Wendy Williams' marriage and flaunted a whole soft life on Wendy's money, has officially hit the point she never thought she'd see. Broke, hiding, and allegedly abandoned by the same man she risked everything for.
So I'm not going to take a lot of time because, you know, I'm getting emotional. And I told myself.
While Kevin Hunter is drowning in lawsuits and scrambling for money, Sharina has vanished, moved back home, and is now fighting just to stay afloat. And the wildest part? The truth behind Wendy's guardianship just exposed everything Kevin and Sharina tried to build. This isn't just drama, this is karma arriving with receipts. For years, people thought the story ended the day Wendy Williams walked away from daytime television. But the truth is, that was only the moment everything finally came to light. And the one person who never saw it coming was Sharina Hudson, the woman who built her entire soft life image on the back of someone else's pain.
And it was not till death do us part.
And it wasn't just an incident. I mean, the relationship that Kevin had with this woman went on for...
No. Kevin was a serial cheater. Kevin had different mistresses depending on, you know, the part of his life. This last one was the one.
When Sharina stepped out of that car smiling, holding Wendy's money, with Kevin Hunter right behind her like he had just upgraded his whole existence, she really believed she had won. She believed Wendy was the past and she was the future. She believed Kevin would be her meal ticket forever. What she didn't realize was that her whole lifestyle was on a timer. And that timer was tied to Wendy's health, Wendy's job, Wendy's guardianship, Wendy's bank account, everything. Sharina didn't just get with a married man. She got with a man who was addicted to a lifestyle he didn't build. A man who was only powerful as long as Wendy was strong enough to carry him. Interview 040-048. And the moment Wendy's life cracked, the moment her health declined, the moment the bank froze her accounts, everything Sharina thought she secured started slipping right through her hands. When the guardianship began, nobody understood how deep it went. No one knew that Wendy never had dementia. No one knew her assessment was manipulated. No one knew that people in power were controlling every dollar she earned. But Kevin knew. And that's when the panic started, because he realized that without Wendy's name on that paycheck,
the PI was taking pictures of them going to the gym, going to dinner, her with...
he had absolutely nothing. And Sharina felt it too. She watched Kevin go from provider to petition filer, running from courtroom to courtroom like he was auditioning for a record deal nobody wanted to sign. And the internet kept asking the same thing. If you were so in love, why are you fighting harder for the money than the marriage? Sharina didn't have an answer for that. So she did what she always did when the heat got too high, she disappeared. She shut down her Instagram.
But what I needed at the time, because I was running 100 miles an hour, and I was so much of a strong support structure for her and all the dreams that she wanted to accomplish, I needed somebody for me. And my new offspring, my daughter, who is a beautiful, beautiful spirit, she was not a oops baby. She was not a mistake.
Stopped posting soft life content, stopped showing her trips, her cars, her bags, her brunches. She went silent at the exact moment Kevin's lawsuit started falling apart. And people noticed. Because for someone who built her identity around living good, silence was the biggest confession she could have made. Silence told the truth before she ever opened her mouth. Silence said something had snapped behind the scenes, and whatever image she was selling had finally collapsed. But the real unraveling didn't start with Sharina hiding. It started when Kevin learned the one thing he never thought he'd hear. The money wasn't coming back. And that's when everything shifted. Interview 122-143. When Kevin realized Wendy's guardianship wasn't temporary, something in him broke. All those long nights in courtrooms, all those legal filings talking about constitutional rights, all those claims about missing millions, none of it mattered. The judge wasn't moved. Wells Fargo wasn't moved. Nobody was bringing back the alimony checks. Nobody was restoring the lifestyle he had built on someone else's shoulders. And Sharina, who once sipped champagne on beaches while Wendy cried on TV, was now staring at overdue bills and mortgage notices. Sources start.
You left your wife. Now, we may not care about her on the show,
That's different. But you left your wife, got you a side piece, had a baby, and was living a whole different life. And evidently Wendy Williams was the real bread maker. Because now you can't.
Whispering that their Florida house was slipping out of their hands. Kevin took loans out on his cars. He couldn't pay the HOA fees. He couldn't keep up with anything that used to be normal for him. And the most shocking part? He allegedly stopped paying child support. The same man who acted like Sharina was the new beginning suddenly didn't have enough to support the child he created out of betrayal. And Sharina, who expected a lifelong ticket to luxury, had to face a truth she never prepared for. If Kevin couldn't live without Wendy, neither could she. Her vegan food business wasn't bringing in money. She tried rebranding, selling detox products, pushing gut health kits. But Instagram doesn't lie, the engagement wasn't there, the sales weren't there, the lifestyle wasn't there. And slowly, quietly, her entire aesthetic transformed from soft life princess to hustling single mom trying to survive. Then came the whispers that she moved back home. Not for peace, not for privacy, but because she literally had no choice. And that's when the internet began saying what everyone was thinking: karma wasn't late. It arrived right on time. Because the same way she came into the picture, quiet, sneaky, and smiling, was the same way she slipped out of it. The only difference is, this time, she didn't come with Gucci bags. She came with reality. Kevin noticed too. And that's when the argument started. When two people get together for the wrong reasons, life always exposes the cracks. And for Kevin and Sharina, the cracks became canyons. The lifestyle was gone. The money was gone. The stability was gone. And when the foundation collapses, the relationship collapses with it. Interview 248, 329. But the public didn't know just how bad it had gotten until Sharina finally reappeared online, not living lavishly, but pitching herself as a realtor, begging for clients, posting motivational quotes like someone trying to rebuild a life from ashes. And in those posts, in her tone, in her whole energy, you can feel the shift. Like someone who finally realized the story she built wasn't real. Yet the most shocking part wasn't Sharina's struggle. It was Kevin's desperation. And what he tried next would expose everything he never wanted the world to know. Interview 357, for 27. Kevin Hunter didn't just file lawsuits, he created a whole performance out of them. He sued for alimony. He sued to overturn the divorce. He sued Wells Fargo. He sued Wendy's guardian. He sued anybody whose name was close enough to touch the money he believed he was still entitled to. And he used Wendy's own struggles as the stage for his comeback. But the courts weren't fooled. They saw right through the sympathy act. They saw the pattern. They saw the desperation. And they saw that none of this had anything to do with protecting Wendy. So one by one, every lawsuit collapsed. And every time one fell, Kevin seemed to lose another piece of that identity he'd spent years pretending he built on his own. Suddenly the man who once called himself the backbone of Wendy's empire couldn't even keep the lights on. And Sharina, she was watching all of it. The truth is, when some women say they want a provider, what they really mean is they want access to the life he provides. But what happens when the life disappears? What happens when the money is gone? What happens when the reality behind the scenes finally catches up? That's exactly what happened here. As Kevin kept filing lawsuits, people began noticing Sharina wasn't anywhere near him. No airport pictures. No restaurant pictures. No gym selfies. No soft life brunch shots. Nothing. The woman who once flexed her new chapter was suddenly nowhere to be found in his life. And that silence sparked the rumors that their relationship didn't just crack, it ended. And honestly, when you look at the timeline, it makes sense. Wendy lost her show. Kevin lost the money. Sharina lost the benefits. And suddenly, the couple that once felt untouchable became two strangers trying to survive in separate corners of a life that wasn't built for them. But here's the twist. While Kevin and Sharina's world fell apart, Wendy's truth finally started coming out. The real assessments. The real reports. The real medical clarifications. And as the truth surfaced, one thing became clear. Wendy was never as sick as they claimed. And that revelation didn't just expose the guardianship, it exposed everyone who profited from it. And when Kevin saw that truth rising, he did the one thing everyone expected from him: he tried to use it to his advantage. But the timing was off. Because Sharina was no longer standing beside him. And what he faced next proved that both of them were paying for choices they made years ago. Interview 537, 555. By the time Sharina re-emerged online, the transformation was impossible to miss. No more luxury aesthetics. No more matching designer outfits. No more carefully curated soft life branding. She was now promoting her skills, her services, her products, anything she could sell to stay afloat. And tucked between the lines of her captions was something she never said out loud but everyone could feel. She was on her own. Kevin's absence from her page wasn't an accident. Neither was the shift in tone. Neither were the rumors that she had moved back home, rebuilding her life piece by piece, trying to figure out a future that never involved this kind of struggle. And if you look close enough at her posts, you can almost hear the exhaustion, the frustration, the reality she tried to outrun finally catching up. And the internet didn't miss the symbolism. Because this story wasn't just about money. It wasn't just about cheating. It wasn't just about betrayal. It was about how the truth eventually resets everything. How the universe corrects itself. How the foundation built on someone else's pain eventually sinks. And that's exactly what happened here. Kevin and Sharina didn't collapse because Wendy stopped paying. They collapsed because their entire relationship depended on her paying. That's what people mean when they say, karma didn't miss. Sharina didn't just lose a lifestyle. She lost the fantasy that she could build her future on the downfall of someone else. And Kevin, he lost the illusion that he could take everything Wendy built and create a new empire with another woman. But Wendy, even through everything she suffered, everything she lost, everything she fought, she's the one standing today with clarity, truth, and the chance to rebuild her life on her terms. So when people ask why the internet doesn't feel bad for Kevin or Sharina, the answer is simple. They weren't victims of circumstance. They were beneficiaries of someone else's pain. And when the pain finally stopped paying, so did the lifestyle. What happens next for Kevin and Sharina is unclear. Maybe they reconcile. Maybe they stay apart. Maybe they both finally face the consequences they spent years avoiding. But one thing is certain. The story they tried to write for themselves ended the moment Wendy took back the pen. And now, everyone is watching to see what chapter she writes next. If you made it this far, you already know this story isn't just about gossip, it's about consequences. Let me know in the comments if you think Kevin and Sharina will ever bounce back from this, or if this really is the end of their soft life era. Hit that like button if you believe Wendy deserves justice, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter in this unfolding mess. Your support keeps these stories alive, and trust me, what's coming next is even wilder.